Hey friends, and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Morgan, and today is going to be a little bit different of a video, but I was just out here harvesting a bunch of plants, and I got to thinking, I was at the farmer's market yesterday, and it kind of got me thinking about all the different ways that homesteaders can make money. And I thought it was really interesting. I think there's a lot of obvious ways, like selling your eggs and selling your produce, that we oftentimes think about. But the more I thought about it, there are so many ways that we can be making money on the homestead that might not initially cross your mind. So I wanted to share some of the ways that we make money on our homestead, and along with that, some of the ways we don't currently make money but could if we wanted to. It's raining a little bit out here, but that's okay, we don't melt. If it gets too bad, I'll go inside, but I was already out here, so figured why not sit down and chat about this? So like I said, the first obvious ways that I think we all think of is selling our goods. So taking eggs into town and selling them. People love farm fresh eggs. I know some people around here that live out on the main road, and they have a stand on their property where they sell a lot of their goods. They'll sell potatoes, onions, corn, peppers, you name it, they have it. And I'm sure they probably do pretty good for themselves. We also have a local farmer's market here where anyone is able to attend and they can sell whatever they want. So there's a lot of people that are making and selling like pull-apart bread, zucchini bread, cheeses, goat milk, let's see, raw honey, obviously a ton of produce, a lot of like crocheted and knitted things, some wood art. So there's a ton of different ways that people are making money off of their land. But beyond that, I wanted to chat about that. So one thing that we do here is we have alfalfa growing. So we have 40 acres here, and so we are able to bale up our alfalfa and whatever we personally don't need for our animals. So we know what a year's supply of alfalfa is for all of our animals. So beyond that is a surplus, and we actually keep about 2 years just in case there's a drought or you know, one of us gets sick or something isn't going totally to plan. We have about 2 years of alfalfa, but beyond that, we don't want it just sitting in the barns. So we go ahead and sell off our alfalfa per bale, and that's a super easy way to make money. Our land is naturally growing the alfalfa. We're able to bale it up and sell that for a profit, which is perfect. That's a really easy way to make money. Obviously there is a lot of costs, but we actually have a neighbor who has a ton of equipment, so we pay him per bale to bale it up and help us there. We load it up and then we're able to sell it off to people that need the alfalfa. So that's one really easy way for us to make money off of our land. And I will preface this with every single state, county, country is totally different. So seriously, please, please, please do your research before doing anything. I just am sharing some ways that I've seen around here or that I've heard of that can work really well. So another one is water rights. In some states, you're able to sell off water rights if you're not totally using them, or you can lease water rights for a year. So like I said, don't take my word for it completely. Do your own research in your own state, in your own county. But I do know that a lot of people around here are able to lease their water rights to a neighbor if they're not necessarily using it. And that way, if one neighbor has a pivot and the other neighbor doesn't, and the pivot runs through, let's say, that neighbor's yard, they're able to lease out their water rights to that other person that has the pivot so that they can water more, water their yard, water through their yard. There's a lot of different ways that you can kind of slice that, but I do know a lot of people per year will lease out their water rights to someone nearby or someone who has ag going through their property as well. The next way is hunting rights. So if you have enough land, you are actually able to lease out your land to hunters, and sometimes hunters will actually pay you to hunt on your property. Obviously, you need to make sure you have a legal amount, but I know there's a lot of people that will lease property, and we used to do this in Colorado, will lease property. So if there's someone with a pond on their property, for example, you can go up to that person and say, hey, I will pay you X amount per waterfowl season if you let me have unlimited access to your pond to hunt on. That's an easy way. You can approach landowners. An even easier way is through various apps and tech. So Sam owns the Infinite Outdoors app, where you can basically put your land as a landowner on the app, and then hunters are able to book your land with insurance through that app and are able to hunt your property for a specific time period, and they'll bring in their own tags, and they'll kind of, it's like a self-serve thing. So as a landowner, you don't have to do it. But one thing you do need to keep in mind, and Infinite Infinite Outdoors actually covers this is insurance. You want to make sure that if you are having people hunting on your land, you are totally insured and you are totally covered. So we actually lease our land through Infinite Outdoors, so people come out here and hunt on it, specifically waterfowl. But that's another really easy way that people are able to do it, and that way when you're leasing your land out for hunting, you know that you have the appropriate liabilities covered and you are totally set there, and you know who's on your property, and people are paying to be on your property. So hunting is another super easy one that you are able to get money on. Definitely look up the regulations in your state though. I know it's different state by state, but I would encourage you to check that out if you have enough land. Another thing that we actually do on our land, and the rain is really picking up, is we have our grazing rights leased. So we have a couple that brings in 15 cattle and they are grazing our property for the duration of the summer. So they came in June and they will take them out in October, November, I think, and they are grazing our property. They do bring in their own water, but we do have water that runs through the property as well, so there's multiple options for them. But that is honestly so easy. We made it so that they had to come in and fix all of the fences, so we weren't liable if any of the cattle got out, but we just have them roaming our land. The owners do come in and check on them every single day, so you will have people coming and going, but it's honestly so simple for us. It's totally hands-off, and we just have like 15 cattle that are leasing our land and are grazing it. So that's another super simple way. We do have cattle guards around the property so they can't get out, but it's really easy, very hands-off for us. Again, make sure you're looking into what's legal for your state, but that is something that we have absolutely loved doing here. Then the final thing is looking at your zoning. There's a lot of zoning options, and I know that if you can get, at least in Wyoming, an ag zoning, you will be paying less property taxes than if you were in like a residential zoning. So that's another easy thing to look into. I wouldn't say that zoning is easy to change, but look into your property and see what zoning you currently have and make sure that you're doing everything that you need to stay within that zoning. Definitely look into it state by state. I know it's totally different, but here ag zoning is more favorable for property taxes than like a residential zoning would be. So I hope these gave you some ideas. Obviously there are those traditional ways and people do make really great money off of those, but I just wanted to give you a few other ideas in case the homesteading life is for you and you just want to see some other ways that you can make money. Obviously you need to kind of plan these things out and make sure that you are able to afford your homestead without all of these things, but I did want to just share a few creative ways that I think a lot of people might not know about that you could be doing to make some money off of your homestead. Like I said, I am no expert in any of this. Make sure you are doing your own research, but these are just some of the things that we've done here or that we have looked into in the past to help us kind of subsidize the cost of homesteading, because it's not necessarily the cheapest thing to be doing. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, friend.